They know who I am?
I don't think so. You've never identified yourself to them, I believe.
It's a hoax. I suggest we all leave.
I'm sorry, sir. You cannot leave this house.
No? Who's gonna stop me?
There's no way out. All the windows have bars. All the doors are locked.
This is an outrage. You can't hold us prisoner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Please return to the study. Everything will be explained. You too, Mr. Body.
Other way.
You can't get out that way.
Why not? It's only glass.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Clue the Movie Podcast, where we break down the 1985 cult classic Clue the Movie, based on the board game, 1 minute at a time. My name is Brad Gilmore, joined as always by Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith, we're 19 minutes in, man.
Yep, we sure are, and Mr. Body is on the move.
19 minutes in. 97 minutes in this movie. We're 19 in. Now, this is where I want... Now, this minute, it starts with Mr. Body saying they know who I am. And it ends with the passing out of the brandy from Yvette.
More brandy.
It's a very
last one, yeah.
It's a brandy heavy movie. But before we dive too much into this minute, we did promise something to our listeners a couple minutes ago, and I feel like we should at least help educate. I want you to help educate me and help educate our audience. So I went out and purchased this. This is
you have saved
Save the Cat. And I knew that we were going to sort of get into some of this.
Yes.
So what I had a question, because you mentioned this, we saw the end of the first act, or we're about to see the end of the first act.
That's a good question, because I think we haven't seen the end of the first act.
We haven't seen it yet.
That I've thought back to it and knowing the structure. I think we have our catalyst, and that's Mr. Body coming into the scene, because that's about so just for everyone to know, Save the Cat is a book, and it's about screenplay structure. It's what a lot of writers use to structure their screenplays, and it's a very simple breakdown of things that almost always have to happen in a script, and almost any movie can get put into this it's called a beat sheet, and these are the beats that happen in most movies. And it starts with an opening image, which is page 1. It'll state the theme around page 5. It'll have the whole setup, which is around 1 through 10. And then around page 12, you have the catalyst. And that's the whatever happens that gets the movies starting to roll. So I suggest that that's Mr. Body showing up. We've had all the setup in the other room, or just with them, meeting each other and then going into the dining room. And then after the catalyst, from 12 to 25 page usually, is the debate. And the debate will be everybody's dirty laundry basically being revealed. I think our break into 2 is when Mr. Body gets the gun, gets shot. Or does he get shot? But basically when murder is introduced.
When murders, so that's break into 2. So I'm reading the beat sheet along with you. So I have a couple questions. So let's look up to the fourth part of the beat sheet, right up to the catalyst. So include the movie. Okay, opening image, page 1. So for us, would that be when it says opening image? Is that the opening credits of the movie?
It's just whatever the first image is that pops up on the screen. So in this case, it's the clouds. It's the ominous clouds. You could even, I guess, consider the establishing shot of the mansion would be as well. But it's just that's our first image to set the ominous tone of the murder mystery.
Okay, and then the theme stated.
The theme, that's
is that harder for this movie?
Yeah, because it's not really a theme kind of movie, other than I would love to go back and see about on the 5-minute mark what happens, and we could talk about that in a later one if once I go back. But it could be just as simple as a line, as in something's mysterious, or it could be something.
Minute 5 looks like where Wadsworth comes to greet Yvette in the study while she's polishing the brandy, and then he meets the cook, and that's when we see the McCarthyism stuff on TV.
Okay. So, I don't know. It could just be as simple as you have your instructions.
You have your instructions. The theme, though, normally, can you apply it to another movie then?
A theme? History's going to change. Back to the Future. That's about the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, history's going to change. And that's Marty telling Strickland, Vice Principal Strickland.
No McFly has ever mattered anything in the history of Hill Valley. Well, history is going to change. Boom. That's the whole movie.
Whoa.
That's why students use Back to the Future as an example all the time, because it is like textbook. That's why it's that they study that script in schools, because it is the best as far as following a structure and set up, payoff, and it's just that one is pretty easy to break down. I mean, Act 2, he's in 1955.
Right. That's where Act 2 starts. So the setup in Back to the Future, or this one, for instance, Clue the movie, would be everyone arriving, and we're trying to figure out what is everyone doing here.
We get their aliases. We get just a little bit of their backstory. We get them at the dining room, so we know they're all from Washington, and they're determined to enjoy themselves, or they're just kind of eyeballing each other. And also we don't know who our host is. That's all. Everything we've watched basically up until this point is the setup.
So we haven't, and the catalyst is the inciting incident, right?
Right, and that's Mr. Body.
And that's Mr. Body's body.
That's Mr. Body arriving.
Oh, Mr. Body arriving is the catalyst.
Yeah.
Okay, because he puts the story into motion.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm understanding.
Starts when he gets there. Yeah.
So we haven't seen the close of Act 1 just yet, though.
No, I think we're in the debate section now, where we're going to hear everything. And it's literally a debate when he says all of you can kill Wadsworth now, coming up, and then they don't kill Wadsworth. That brings us into Act 2, because now we know there's a murder, and now we have to solve the murder. There has been no murder up until this point. So now the whole movie is about solving murder.
Who killed Mr. Body?
Mr. Body and whoever gets in the way.
Okay, now
that'll be the fun and games.
Now, in this minute, Mr. Body asks, like, they know who I am, or something like that, and he said, "Well, why?"
Still playing it mysterioso.
And then Wadsworth says, "Why should they? You haven't revealed yourself." But but Wadsworth said that he's Mr. Body. So what is he talking about revealing?
I guess just that, hey, it's me, that I'm the one blackmailing you, because then he's going to go through everything that they're being blackmailed for, and then it finally gets to him, and what's his secret? He's the one that's blackmailing you.
So why does Mr. Body get so upset at Wadsworth and say this is a hoax?
It's very strange, because he's so like playing it. I don't know what's going on, and then when we get to he's the one that's blackmailing you, he just totally does a 180. It's like, yeah, it's me. And you should all shoot Wadsworth.
It's so strange, you know. He's playing. So is he thinking maybe if I play coy,
maybe I can get out of?
I can get out of this.
Even get away. He's trying to escape the house.
Yeah.
So that's like his last chance to go. Why he went in the first place is an excellent question. If he's so quick to want to run out the door before, and he's brought all these weapons, as we'll see, but he tries to escape without his bag too. He's just gonna leave him behind and go, see you later. Dogs.
Yeah, because we talked about the potential of him having a bag of weapons as maybe, because we know it's going to be evidence,
right,
in a series of murders that's going to occur. Yeah, the setup to this, and I have a lot of respect for Landis and Lynn and everything, but I think sometimes when you look at it under a microscope, you're not supposed to. You realize you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
especially this one.
Yeah, Jonathan Land would probably and I may have mentioned this a couple times because I think of him when we're doing some of these long discussions. He would just shake his head and go, "No, I don't know."
Yeah,
we had to have a scene here, and it was a good scene. He ran away.
because sometimes the setup doesn't have to be, I guess, the most logical thing in movies, right? I mean, you just kind of need to establish the characters, and then something happens.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be it's just keeping us
On our toes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're uncomfortable. It could be just like Wadsworth's envelope. It's just for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that part of this movie, and they actually do it through the entirety of the film, is it's meant to disorient and confuse you.
Yeah, disorient. That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah.
Right? It's meant to be like, wait a minute, where are they? What are they doing? Wait, who's that? Okay, what's J. Edgar Hoover? Okay. And you're always asking. And I think that I guess it's set up that way so that there's not a crystal clear answer to anything really, because of the multiple endings, right?
Because it could go any other way. I mean, this part could just be just to set up that they can't get out.
Yes, that does establish that.
Away to show that, there's a conservatory because there's one in the game, but you can't break through the glass because that's where the dogs are hanging out. So it could just be as simple as that. Somebody had to come up with the idea quickly. Let's get out of here, and then quickly reveal you can't.
Yeah.
Moving on.
The conservatory, not well kept up.
No, that must not be. The gardener's probably got the day off. We never meet whoever's keeping up the conservatory. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Even there's a broken window upstairs in the ballroom. Yeah. It's why I'm wondering if it's just a renter.
It's just this, like, you remember in Beverly Hills Cop 2, Eddie Murphy acquires a home.
Just came up and while they were remodeling and said, "Go ahead, I'll take it from here."
This bill's not supposed to have any right angles.
It's Wadsworth and Yvette and the cook all pulling up.
Yeah.
Going, "What are y'all doing here? We're having a dinner party tonight." They're like, "Oh, sorry.
You're supposed to leave. You're supposed to leave now."
Yeah, get out of here.
Would you live at the Hill House?
It's too big.
Too much space, right?
Yeah, I don't need all that.
It's a lot.
I don't need all that. I mean, think about just the driveway going up. Like if you were driving home and you had to go to the bathroom and you're like, I got to get home. But you got to like open the gate, go all the way up. I mean, that's too much. That's the first thing I thought of.
I hear you. You know it's funny.
I don't even know. And the bathroom's all the way down at the end of the hall too. So
and in like a corner up some like stairs.
Yeah, the weird corner, and the staff might be using it. So you might have to run upstairs where the shower is.
It is light on bathrooms for such a big house.
Yeah, you only see the one where downstairs where the candle's up on the frame.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that. It is interesting you bring that up because it's too much house. Because there's a place in Houston, so where these beautiful homes built by a bayou, and I don't know if you're aware, in Houston we have a lot of flooding issues because we're below sea level. So to counteract that, people build their homes up rather high, right? And some of those houses along the bayou, I literally counted one day, one house has 57 steps to get to the front door.
Groceries, man.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
If I have to carry anything up these stairs, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. I would, oh boy, can you imagine just you would try to you'd have so many bags from Target in your hand going up those stairs through, your arms through the loops and the soda under your arm and everything, the water bottles.
Imagine the case of water. That's what I was about to bring up. The case of water. That's and bad already.
Even if you like DoorDashed it, who's going to want to come to your house with all that? You're going to have to be tipping big.
Yeah, you can't be a light tipper.
Not with 57 stairs.
No, that you're going to have a considerable tip. And I think that if you deliver something to the Hill House, like, you can't cheapskate out the pizza man. like they do in Home Alone. Like you gotta.
No, you can't. Plus, there's dogs that are bugging you once you get to the door. So what would probably happen in reality is whoever the DoorDash person was, they leave it at the bottom of the gate, and you, as the owner of Hill House, would have no idea that it's down there, and you'd be wondering what took so long. And you'd finally walk 57 steps down, and then you'd look at the gate. Oh, it's been sitting out here all this time. It's freezing cold. It's wet from the rain. Great.
Here's my other question. Wadsworth says all the windows are barred and the doors are locked.
Yeah.
When does this occur? Is this something that he did? Because his arrival we see, and we just see him get the house ready and maybe lock the front door. So is it betting the cook barring and locking everything else?
But I guess he means there's bars on the windows, but we see lots of windows that don't have bars. So he's a liar.
Is it psychological?
Maybe just, hey, stop running around.
You're not getting out. Okay,
No.
You're right here. What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Well, we're about to get to some of the bigger moments in the. I feel like I say that every minute, though. I feel like we say we're about to get to the
It's
big.
true every time. We are getting closer.
We are getting close. It is true every time we're getting closer.
Minutes go by. Some of these minutes feel long, and some of them it's opening an envelope.
It's opening an envelope and reading it.
That's why we talk about Bible Man sometimes, friends. But sometimes it's just opening an envelope.
Oh my gosh, Bible Man, gotta love it. I say let's get to minute 20 because I think we said everything that needs to be said about.
That's been said.
About minute 19. Unless you see anything else that we should bring up.
Oh, if there's something else, we'll bring it up in 20.
All right, let's do it. For Clue the Movie Podcast, that's Jeff Smith, ClueDoc.com. And I am Brad Gilmore. We're going to be back with minute 20 of Clue the Movie.
Yeah, that still holds up.
I'm sure that it does. I think that you're probably one of the few people to hold this distinction of playing both a doctor and a professor in the same year of 1985. Because, of course, Back to the Future came out in 1985. So did one of my other favorite movies, Clue the Movie, where you got to play Professor Plum. That movie as well has taken on kind of a whole life of its own and become a cult classic. Did you know when you were on that set that you had something there? Because a lot of times when you're working on something creatively, there's a feel to it. And that movie has a real feel to it. I just wonder if that was happening on set as you were creating that film.
I think so. I really felt the cast was a phenomenal cast. I felt incredibly privileged to be among them. And our director, I can't, it's not getting the name right off, but a British English. He was great. He really was into it and made it happen. It had kind of a soft opening here, but I've been aware that over across the pond they love it. It's very popular, and it keeps going on. If I go to a Comic-Con and I'm signing, there's so many people who select something from that film.